Good morning, Philadelphia Eagles fans. Good morning, NFL fans, to week 4 of the 2020 NFL season. For this week, my Birds take on my 0-2-1 Birds take on the 2-1 San Francisco 49ers. And what people are already predicting is going to be a blowout. But I'm going to start my video like this week. I'm going to tell you why I think my Birds are actually going to win tonight. I'm going to start this early. I'm going to call the score by a field goal late. It's going to be 27-24. And I'm going to tell you why. This is going to be interesting. Because everybody can talk about the results after the game is played. But I think the proof is in the pudding if you can talk about it prior to it happening. Last week, my Birds looked like trash against Cincinnati, right? And I said in the beginning of my video that I didn't feel good about the game, and it turned out the way that I expected, because Cincinnati has not been a good football team this year. It looked like the Eagles were going to be like, okay, this could be like a bounce back kind of thing, and get everything straightened up. And we still tried a lot of some of the old things that just didn't work the way that we tried offensively. Carson Wentz is still throwing interceptions and also missing passes. Like there was a missed pass to that was just horrible. It was not good. We didn't look good. We tied the Cincinnati Bengals again. I think this week, what ends up happening is we learn a lot, but also we're not going to depend on some people that are going to be out anyway. So it's going to cause for our offensive game plan to be simplified and very direct and effective. And same thing with our defense. Now, I kind of wanted to wait to see what the final injury report is. I think Kittle and Debo is going to be playing for San Fran, which is going to change our defense a little bit because as we talk week in, week out, Nate Gary is a liability in defense. So this is what I think is going to happen. Now, I don't have to talk special teams so much, even though I think it's going to come down to a late field goal because our special teams has not been an issue this year. Okay? We haven't had a bunch of missed field goals or crazy fumbles and nothing like that. So I'm not going to touch up on special teams. I just think they're going to help us pull it out at the end. Going on the defensive side of the ball, Avonte Maddox is out. We have corners like Crayvon LeBlanc. Now I know some people are actually pretty high on this guy. I'm going to say this. I think when you have fill-ins like this, especially because Jimmy G's not playing for San Fran, Mullins is going to start again, paired with new corners that we have because we have a lot of injuries. I think these guys are going to be looking for their spot. They're playing for their careers, and if they can make a splash for a week and look really good, it's going to be something on their highlight reel. So I think what's going to happen, I think on the offense and defensive side of the ball, when you have new guys coming in and getting to play in the NFL when they were like way down the depth chart or on the practice squad, now they're playing in an NFL game. They're going to be amped up, and they're going to do their studying, and they're going to do their homework. And I think that's what's going to happen with our secondary today, where we're going to have some fill-ins because of our injuries. I think we're going to have to play some of those corners. I think we're going to play more of a nickel defense because we're pretty solid on the run, but we're getting crushed by tight ends. And Kittle is really, really good. He's really, really, really good. And so I think we're going to hopefully match up a corner against him. I mean, I know it's going to be a size mismatch, but I think it's going to be better coverage than just being a blown coverage by Nate Gary. And then I think our defensive front, we haven't been getting crazy amount of pressure, but like I said, our control is really about controlling the running game, because if they can't get a running game going, it makes them one-dimensional in the passing game, which then makes them more predictable, and then we can maybe get after them. If we play more of a nickel defense and even do some corner blitzes, I know we don't have that many right now, but if we pull some guys up in the practice squad, I think that's how we can get some pressure on the quarterback and run blitz. I think defensively, we're actually going to get a couple turnovers today. I actually believe that. So I see that from that side, from the offensive side of the ball. I don't know why Whiteside is even mentioned. He has not been a factor since he's been drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, so I'm not even really concerned about his health. Deshaun Jackson being signed, it was a novelty because, let's be real, his hamstring, I like Deshaun Jackson, but his hamstring is done. I think they more signed him as like a player coach kind of thing and to mentor some of our speedsters, Hightower and Watkins, into the league. And I think we should almost treat him like a Deuce Staley that can potentially be on the field if he gets healthy, but hire him as a receivers coach or a receivers consultant, whatever it might be later on. But we're actually healthy in the backfield. Miles Sanders and Boston Scott, and you name it. Like, we're actually healthy in the backfield. Wentz is pissed off about his performance last week. Jalen Hurts can be sprinkled in. We're running into what we did last year when we have Greg Ward, and this time Hightower, and whoever else, that we decide, Burnett or whoever decides to come in. And I think that bodes us well, and this is why. Carson Wentz, when he has certain people on the roster, like also Dallas Goedert, he's out. So you have to go with Rodgers at tight end. When Carson Wentz has certain people on the roster, he almost gets too comfortable. And he thinks that he can make too many plays happen with his feet, extending plays in the pocket, and he needs to be more decisive. That actually happens when he has younger players because he realizes he doesn't have forever. They don't have that crazy chemistry, so you have to go with either your read, and if it's open, go for it, or get a couple yards running it up and get down so you don't get injured. And that decisiveness, or also lean more on your running game, right? Miles Sanders, that's why we drafted him, and he's actually pretty good 2 games in a row, I believe, with like 95 yards, and he had 18 carries last week. So with that decisiveness, along with the game plan, knowing what you don't have, I think it gets simpler. And when you run more too, it helps the offensive line be more confident. I think everybody's confidence, even though you're playing against a San Fran team that's good even without their top stars in, I think your confidence goes up. You start building on some wins, and the ball bounces a couple ways your way. Next thing you know, you find yourself up. And I think that's where we're going to be today. I think we're going to call a very straightforward game plan. Now, granted, I am going to say I think it's a key that Greg Ward needs to throw a pass today. We need to get a little more creative, and I think Greg Ward needs to throw a pass to show part of that creativity. I know jet sweeps and everything, but you really need to keep people off balance. You have 3 guys on the roster that can legitimately throw the ball and can be in the game, which Wentz, Hurts, and Greg Ward. Greg Ward was a quarterback, and we say this a zillion times. He played for Houston in college. He was really good. Throw the defense off so they can't expect whatever and keep them on their toes. And if you keep them off balance, we can score points. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game back and forth, and I believe we're going to pull it out at the end. Yeah, I know this is the same team that just tied Cincinnati, but I think this is how the NFL works. So I'm going to put this together. That's my prediction. The Eagles win 27-24. You mark my words. I will be back after the game. It's going to be late, so maybe I'll just make a video Monday or Tuesday or so. And yeah, laugh at me if you want. I've made predictions before and they've come true. So I'm going to stand on this like I do all the time and tell me what you think. I know a lot of people are not big on the Eagles. So this is the time that they actually come through, because that's how life normally works. I hope you guys have a great day. Hope everybody stays healthy, and looking forward to the Birds tonight and just to have an entertaining football game, and hopefully we come out with a victory. Have a great day. Go Birds.